welcome to Feels Like Weezer, where we're going track by track, song by song through all of Weezer's catalog. And I am Eric Nash from Watchmen Minute.
And I'm Zach Fracking Smith. You can follow me on Twitter at The Informal Log.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's it going, buddy?
I'm pretty good. Yourself?
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to talk about these songs.
Yeah.
Today.
Okay. Yeah. These deluxe side, part of the Pinkerton disc album, what have you?
Mm-hmm. The D-sides, as I call them.
D-sides.
Yeah. Because they're deluxe.
Yeah. B-sides, and what have you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is
not the live versions, not the alternate takes, what have you.
Oh no. We ain't got time for
songs
that.
We've already discussed.
My time is valuable, okay?
Or no piano noodles.
No piano noodles. No.
It's like a swimming pool noodle.
I like to think so.
Yeah.
That's actually how Rivers is playing the piano. He's just smacking it with a pool noodle. It's, oh wow, this song sounds really different when you hit it with a piano noodle. So yeah, we've got 7, 8 songs, 10?
Yeah, around
10
there.
Songs to cover. Yeah. So yeah, you want to just jump right into it?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, do we want to go in the order that we're
go for it,
or just jump around?
Whatever works, man. Let's just go crazy.
You Gave Your Love to Me Softly is the first one I had noted.
Same here. Yeah. What'd you think of that one?
It's not one I'm crazy about. It's one of the half roughly that I'm not. It's got this other half of these songs. The ones I'm not as crazy about are ones that have a little bit of more of the Blue album feel to me, but also at the same time they also have something of a. It's odd for me to say this that they have a more authentic Rick Ocasek Cars feel as well, a more synthy bit in most of these other half, lower half, I think I say songs.
Okay, interesting. I'm gonna take the exact opposite opinion, and I think that this is better than anything that was on Pinkerton. Because I think I'm gonna agree that it does sound bluey. But it's still got that kind of edge that Pinkerton does. So I think this would have been a really good way to kind of bridge the two.
Yeah.
Because I know because you follow up Only in Dreams with Tired of Sex, right after that. And they just sound so different. I think that if there were one or two of these B-sides on this album from Pinkerton and then also some from Blue, kind of thrown in the mix there, I think it would be a lot easier to kind of, bridge the two. So, I really like this one. I think it's a really good tune.
The biggest thing I think of note that we need to mention is that it was done for, I think, the soundtrack for the movie Angus from 1995. And I vaguely remember the movie
Angus
when it came out.
I've never heard of it. But yeah, I think now I'm going to have to check out the movie Angus just so I can hear the song. So, or I can just Google it. But anything else on that one?
No, I don't think so. Yeah. Not a. I focused in on and had some decent notes, I'd say, on the other 4 or 5 that I cared more for.
Okay, gotcha.
Didn't dig in too deep on ones that okay, nope. I've listened to this a few times now and I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Well, and one thing that I like right now for what I'm going to continue to do is I'm not going to listen to any of the deluxe edition stuff for any of the albums.
Oh, yeah, right.
Because I've never listened to them, so this is like my raw, unadulterated joy of discovering new Weezer. So that may be part of my biases, but The next song I've got is Devotion.
Right.
Pretty interesting. Like, it's an interesting choice because you got that kind of piano or organ sound sort of right at the beginning. And it feels kind of like a lullaby or like a hymn or something like that. And then you have the title, which is Devotion, you know, where it's kind of got this weird, like, pseudo-religious connotation to it. Which I think this would fit in well on the Red album, since they also have a lot of, surprisingly, quite a few religious connections in that album. But this definitely, I think it was a good choice to not put this on Pinkerton, though. It wouldn't fit anywhere on there. It's a little too mellow, you know.
Yeah, they already had the one mellow ending track. Yeah, I mean, my biggest note on it was that it was just a bit more slowed down. Almost like if you're really gauging these songs as an album in and of themselves, this would be a decent, say, second or third-ish song. I always like to hear like a little slowdown after a nice kickoff.
I agree. That would be you know, because that's where you start to really get into the groove of the album, I feel like, too. Yeah. Around song 3 or 4. You know, first one's obviously always your best. The third one's your radio darling, is what I usually think of. Track 3 is usually where you put the one you're going to put on the radio.
But that's not the way this was done, though. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I'm pretty sure that these are being essentially in a chronological order, with that Angus. I mean, even though I'm looking at the Devotion. I mean, it's talking about recorded in July '94, and that Angus certainly that came out in '95, but I'm not totally sure when that was. You Gave Your Love to Me Softly was actually written or recorded or what have you. But if we want to go to the third one, is Waiting on You. So just right off the bat, I can tell you, it's off of an EP CD that The Good Life was on, or European single EP CD. So it wasn't even released in America at all, I guess. As a B-side or what have you.
I think this would have been a great song to put on the album. I think it fits in really well with Pinkerton as a whole, and I think this would have been a great follow-up to Tired of Sex instead of Get You. So far, if I was in creative control of Pinkerton, right now the track order would be
you'd burn it.
Tired of Sex, Get You, Gone, and then Waiting on You. And then maybe after that You Gave Your Love to Me Softly. I'd add one more song on there, but yes.
Yeah, they're in speaking in more general terms of Pinkerton itself. In reading this book that I certainly mentioned a bit last episode, it did seem like Rivers had they did their first album 10 songs, the second album 10 songs, but that is going to we are going to diverge from that, limiting to 10 tracks.
When we get to Maladroit is...
Okay.
Yep. Because there's only 10 on Green Album.
Yeah, okay.
That album's only 28 minutes. Can you believe that? Anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but it's a short one.
Even shorter songs, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a good song. I so far they haven't had a stinker on me.
Well, I'm not saying I really dislike these songs. It's just they didn't stand out and have much for me to. I felt like I needed to take my time with when others certainly that coming up here shortly. The next one being I just threw out The Love of My Dreams, I believe, if that's what you want to discuss next, because so it's got this crazy big divergence of having some female vocals.
Well, actually, just having anher vocalist, having somebody different other than Rivers being
as a lead,
because and we don't get that until the Red Album and released proper. So, but yeah, that's it popped up as either Petra Hayden or Karen Hayden. I'm not sure which one it is, but
let's see. But then who's Rachel?
Rachel.
So I'm seeing Rachel. Yeah, Rachel.
Rachel. Hayden, that's what I meant.
Petra is her sister. And they were in the band That Dog.
That Dog.
Was happening, I believe, in the LA scene in those early 90s.
Well,
maybe very, very late 80s, but definitely early 90s.
And Weezer would, they did a little bit of touring with That Dog too, and they opened for them quite a bit. And then there's a fun quote from one of the two, whoever's in there, saying that, you know, I can't believe it. They used to be opening for us, and now they're this big thing, and we're stuck here, you know. And yeah, but at this point, this was when I wrote Songs from the Black Hole should just come out already. I want it so bad. It's not a great song. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I think it's a good companion piece to No Other One. You know, kind of having those two as a, you know, kind of a mirror for each other. In my The Pink album version of Pinkerton is what I'm calling it now. Not Butterfly, The Pink album, where we hear it from the lady's point of view. I think this would be what No Other One is for in that album.
Now, one thing I'd like to mention, I don't really have anything on Rachel Hayden, but her sister Petra, I'd like it to be known that I kind of have been aware of her since the maybe like mid 2000s-ish because of the Decemberists band, as well as she's also done stuff with Foo Fighters.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's good to know. Good job, Petra. You have now been validated by some random white guy. Congratulations.
Well, I didn't have to go back and listen to, or I didn't have to know of That Dog at the same time, roughly, as, say, Weezer. When it first came out, and to actually have heard at least one of the two.
Right. Yeah. No, I hadn't heard of That Dog.
Yeah.
Or just Petra Hayden in general, but I'll definitely be looking into. She's got a really nice voice, so I'll definitely be looking more into the Decemberists.
And then the last thing, you know, it actually kind of reminded me though, her voice. Then also in this setting with this band, I think with Weezer versus with Decemberists, which has a very different style, I'd say. For you know, as far as you know, so much less distortion, you know. But another band that has a fairly primary lead female vocalist and does do some good stuff that's a little more harder rocking than more along the lines of Weezer is New Pornographers.
Okay.
So that's if you like this song, I'd say there's some similarities to some of their stuff at least. There's the one album, I can't remember what exactly its name, but it's got a lot of blue on its cover. So if you happen to come across that.
I think you just made every librarian listening like just cringe when you said, "Oh, the album cover's got a lot of blue on it, but I can't remember what it is." Because that's always that's the big joke with librarians. It's like, I don't remember the title, but I know the cover was blue. Yeah. And yeah. Sorry, Condra and Tyler. Got anything else on that one?
I think that's good for me.
What's the next one, Eric?
Okay, so I Swear It's True.
Okay, but what is it? I don't know what's true. The next
song is I Swear It's True.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And this one, okay, so the big thing I need to say about this is, for me, you know, I think it was kind of the, you know, when I had the listen to the deluxe album, the deluxe part of the album, at different points over the past probably 5 to 10 years, I think. Or when did it come out? I'm not even sure when it came out.
The deluxe?
Yeah.
I think it was 07.
Yeah. So,
I'm just putting a random date in there. I don't know. I'm making it sound like I know exactly what I'm doing, but joke's on you guys.
But the big thing for me is that it was just a standout, you know, for me at first, at least. It's got this much more lo-fi sound, you know, there's not a ton going on. I think, at least in the version that I was listening to, the one that's from the truly from the disc. But then, if you're googling it, as I think you did, Zach, you know, it's a rough track, and that one actually seems a little less rough than what we have on the deluxe, in my opinion. It has a little more polish to it, but not a ton. There's just a little bit other special effects type interesting things I think they threw in, or at least bumped up in a mix, maybe. I think
it's it's a really good tune. That riff, oh my god! I think this would be a great fit for the album as well. I would replace Pink Triangle with this one.
Oh wow!
I think thematically and positioning on the album, I think it would be a good replacement. Yeah, that's a hot take.
Well, as long as Pink Triangle were then to stay on deluxe, I'd be fine with that. Because, you know, it was my number one from last
Oh,
episode.
right, yeah. I guess that is true. Wasn't it my number 8 or something like that?
No, five.
Five. Oh, okay.
Five
All right.
between you and I. And we actually found two more. Our 3s and 4s also were reversed, and our 2 and 8 or 5 and 8. I don't know. I forget what.
I think it might have been the 2 and 8. What we're basically saying is that Eric and I have exact opposite opinions of this album. So, yeah, it's a good one. I think maybe not replacing Pink Triangle, maybe in addition to Pink Triangle.
If you were allowed to bump this up to, not really, it wouldn't be a double album because there's so much extra space on CDs that bands don't always fill up.
Right.
You know, they have this idea of the 10 songs or what have you, you know.
Well, and this is a short album anyway. I mean, it's something like 30 minutes, so yeah, I think I would include this one if, you know, again, I had ultimate mixing you know, abilities, get to choose what songs go in and what songs don't. I just scrapped the whole Pinkerton thing and do songs from the Black Hole. That was the choice, but, you know, whatever.
So besides it being the standout upon the initial or the first few listens, kind of, or what have you, going into this whole project, really, in a sense, I think, it's become like 2 or 3 down my list for these 8 or 10 or what have you. It is whatever it is.
So there's more.
There's 1 or 2 of the other songs that we've yet to talk about. I bumped up in my estimation.
Well, there's one song in here in this set that I can honestly say is my absolute favorite Weezer song. I'm not even joking. I'm so glad we did that, of all time.
Wow. Until we get to
no, even more than everything will be alright in the end. I love that. We'll get to it here in a couple of songs, but that's what we call a tease in the business.
In the biz.
In the biz. So, anything else on I Swear It's True?
No, I think I'm good.
You swear?
I swear.
Is that true?
I cross my heart and hope to die.
Man, we're funny people. We should start our own podcast there.
We're cracking each other up, seemingly.
Yeah. I mean, we're the only people who really hear these laughs. So
just gotta get Tyler back in, and then it's a
oh my god,
3 Amigos fest.
So, Eric, I hate to tell you this.
Yes, right.
But
no, I don't want to be with you.
You won't get with me tonight.
I knew where you're going.
All right, so our next song is You Won't Get With Me Tonight. I have one note, which is hella punk rock.
Okay.
That's all I have to say about this song. I mean, it's good. It's not a bad one, but, you know, it's definitely not one of my favorites.
No, yeah, same here. So that's our one on the lower end that we kind of agree with. Whereas you seem to like those first 3 there.
Oh yeah.
I'm not as crazy about those. So
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go.
I'm not unless we want to try to sneak in B-side. It was the B-side on no. It was released on the Buddyhead Presents Gimme Skelter compilation in 2003.
Skelter. I like to think it's that's actually everybody was dressed like a skeleton playing that song. The covers was all skeletons.
Well, you know what that's a play on. Gimme Skelter.
Helter Skelter. Yeah,
No?
Gimme Shelter.
Well,
Helter
okay,
Skelter.
well,
It's,
Gimme Shelter, yeah. But
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, I know about the Beatles, you boomer. Jeez. All right, so here we go. The absolute 100 best song ever written. Long Time Sunshine.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
yeah, we're agreeing again here
This
for these two songs.
this song is so good. It's very Ben Foldsy.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
that was the first thing I heard. I'm like, this sounds like Ben Folds playing. He suddenly showed up, and oh my God, Ben Folds joined Weezer. But it one other fun thing that I just want to mention about this before we get like into the nitty gritty was that when I was looking on YouTube to find these because I didn't buy them because I'm cheap. Pokemon cards ain't free, you know. So, but it was in a playlist on YouTube called Sad Weezer, which I just loved. That just it's like what am I in the mood to listen to today? Sad Weezer. Here we go. Click. But I think that this song would have been a perfect closer if they would have thrown in maybe a few more. Instead of doing the blast off part there at the end, if they were to throw in something, you know, like Fallen for You or something like that, you know what I'm talking about? Or The Good Life. I think The Good Life would have been a good extra little bit in there at the end. But yeah, I absolutely love this song. I think it's... I listened to it with headphones on the first time,
Sure.
and I think that you really should listen to the song with headphones on, because I then played it for my wife on just on my phone, and I'm like, oh my God, Joe, this song is so good, it like makes me cry, and then I played it, and then there towards the end it just sounds like noise when they're all singing in harmony, and I'm like, oh yeah, this does not sound good over a speaker. So if you're going to show it off to somebody, have them put headphones on. It sounds much better.
Now, a reason I think I really agree, and I think it makes sense for what he was thinking that it would be later on on the album, towards the end, if not the last or something like that. Is that because of what happens, like, you know, two-thirds, three-quarters away through, is that they go into the "Why Bother" lyrics. And melody.
Yep. They do,
and they even do a cappella for it for a few measures.
They do. There's like 3 or 4 songs that they start singing there too.
Okay, some of the others too. I didn't. Realize
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Well. Okay.
So it's got.
That's the only one I realized.
No other one. So Brian
Okay, yeah.
sings the "Why Bother" part.
Okay.
And then Matt Sharp comes in his falsetto, and he's singing, I think, one of the songs that got cut, that was in Songs from the Black Hole, but didn't make it to the B-sides. Then Rivers, also in falsetto, comes in with No Other One, kind of looping that in. And then he also has another loop of him singing Blast Off, which is at the beginning of Songs from the Black Hole. And then, you know, it goes into that's why there's so many layers there. And that's why it was, you know, it was originally in the first cut of Songs from the Black Hole, this was the closer. And then after that, they did a second one, and it was just another extra song that they put on there. But yeah, that's why I was saying it would be cool if they added in, you know, instead of the the blast off lyrics or the other song if they were to put something else from Pinkerton on there. To kind of loop in. So now I kind of understand why you were like, what are you talking about? Silently, listening, like, what is he saying? Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 songs looped in there. So,
yeah. But then, I mean, so that changes kind of what I was going to want to get in additionally to make a kind of a comparison, because this just does it to, it quadruples the kind of the craftsmanship and the songwriting, the not necessarily lyrics, but a little bit, I guess, but also just the musicianship that it took to get this to work, and the idea of bringing back a song, just a part of a previously fully played song, as in the context of another song. I love it when Paul McCartney did it on Band on the Run. So near the, like, in the second to last track on that is when he starts singing one of the earlier played songs.
Yeah,
within the context, like I was saying.
We in the biz call it a reprise.
Well, it's a reprise within the other song, though. Like, I'm used to the reprise that's done on Sgt. Pepper. That is its own song. I mean, it's the song. It's the song done again. However, with a bit, in that case, it's much more of a hard rock song. The initial one is. I mean, it's not like it's not.
Yep. I see what you're saying,
but it's just they just amped it up a little bit for the reprise of Sgt. Pepper, the penultimate track on that album.
Yeah, I okay. Yep, I see what you're saying now. As an individual,
I'm used to those. I'm used to those reprise. That kind of a reprise.
I guess it's more of a coda, is what it would be.
Okay. Yeah. There we go.
So, if we're saying, like, the whole album is one big piece of music, which
right.
I mean, it is, especially in this version, since it's essentially a rock opera.
Right. That's where I was going next.
Right. Exactly. So that's they have that. Right. Yep.
Yeah. Has that kind of thing happen as the overture part at the beginning. They run through a few different songs that you'd end up hearing later.
Well, and that's the point of an overture.
Right.
I did a lot of musical theater. I still do a lot of musical theater. So the point of the overture is so that you can get that kind of you can hear the leitmotifs and everything like that throughout the rest of the musical. You hear different parts of the song, and actually so season 7 episode 3 of The Office does. It's the Sweeney Todd episode. They actually do a really good explanation of what an overture is.
Yeah.
Wow. Cause Michael's talking to Daryl, and Daryl goes, "Shh, if you don't be quiet, we're going to miss the overture, and we won't be able to recognize musical, blah, blah, blah," throughout the rest of the show. It's perfect, and I wish I could remember the exact quote, but, like, if you want a good explanation of it, at least until 2021, go on Netflix. Oh my god! Like it's every day for me. Like,
well, that episode, I'm sure I caught it once, but it just didn't stick out in my mind.
Yeah. Well, and it's I think that this song it's just such a cool tune. The beginning part's really slow, and but it's still got that kind of bop to it. And then it goes into that, I'm just gonna say coda for the end of it, and it flows so well, because he's saying goodbye, and so he's during the song, he his girlfriend and everybody he knows is going off on a rocket ship and flying away, and so it's almost like he's having these memories, and he's kind of explaining them through song from there. That's my interpretation. take it as you will. But
very cool.
You got anything else?
Yeah, for that one, no. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, between this and Two More Away are my two that I feel like kind of surpassed I Swear It's True.
Mm-hmm.
But next is Getting Up and Leaving.
Oh, no, don't go. Ha, 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 ha. This one, I think, again, if I had mixing rights, I'd put this before The Good Life. I think that would be a good kind of segue into it. Where he's kind of talking about how, he wants to go back to the way it was. So I also put Proto Back to the Shack from Everything Will Be Alright in the End. Because it's kind of the same theme, but kind of in a more negative light, this song. And so, it's like after he goes home, and then he realizes, oh my God, this sucks. I want to go back to the good life. I think that will be a really good, again, coupling. But that's all I've got for that one.
Yeah, and I really didn't have anything else for this one. It was in the lower half of these songs.
And then the last one we've got, Tragic Girl, which I will admit I did not listen to the whole thing of this. I think it's a good fit for the album, specifically because of one line. I don't want my mom to know that I've been a dirty boy, which I think just encapsulates Rivers after writing Pinkerton. He's like, don't let my mom listen to this. It's moderately sexual, and it makes me look like a bad person. But so yeah, I was not able to finish this song because after I heard that line, I'm like, I don't think I want to listen to this anymore.
Well, I wasn't paying that much attention to the lyrics. You could have guessed, but
I was real quick. I was on YouTube, and so I was watching a lyric video.
Oh yeah, wow.
And so when that popped up, I'm like, "Ooh, boy, that makes me feel icky." But what do you think of it?
But from a musical standpoint, I just like it. It's got something of a Only in Dreams feel to me, but also kind of mixed a little bit with, what again, some Beatles reference here, or even Queen with between Bohemian Rhapsody and Happiness Is a Warm Gun. It's got these kind of little shifts in feel and in tempo and different things. That happen if you were to give it another try to listen again. Don't try not to pay so much attention to the lyrics.
I can't. You can't make me. You're not my dad. Don't let my mom know I've been a dirty boy.
Okay.
That's gonna be my new bio on Twitter, I think. Yeah, it is interesting. I did like the music for what I heard of it. I guess I didn't get far enough in to where I could hear those tonal shifts, but I can see your Only in Dreams comparison. I can agree with that. Musically, not lyrically, but
sure.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. I mean, it wasn't like a bad song. It was just I'm like, I gotta know better this one right now. So anything else?
I think that's it.
Oh God, any final thoughts on Pinkerton?
I can never talk about it again.
Never, ever. If you mention Pinkerton to my face ever again, you will not just be checked out of this podcast. You'll be checked out of your life.
I'm really interested. I hope you were to, if you can, kind of do this new track list. If you can post that, I'd love to kind of see it and absorb it more.
Oh, I will.
And maybe even make the playlist and let me listen to the album that way, in that sense. But yeah, I mean, Pinkerton, it's, I feel I should like it better in certain ways, but in certain other ways of less too, that you certainly have alluded me to, alerted me to. Not that I didn't have some feeling, some takes, gotten some takes of some of the stuff prior over the years. But for me, it's just the music itself. I think is so damn good. It could be, I guess, if I could now get over a little bit of the issues that I certainly can understand and agree with. Mm-hmm. It could be, really truly on the equal with Blue at this point.
Yeah, and I completely agree. Like, I feel like I should like this album better than I do because I have a Weezer podcast, but it's also one of those things.
Left to go, so.
Oh, I can definitively say it is not the worst album that Weezer has put out. I can say that with 100% certainty that is not the case.
It might even be for you the fourth or fifth best.
Oh, it's a great album. Yeah. Like, I don't get me wrong. I think it is. I think it's very well written. I think it's just very problematic.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where, it's kind of a poor connection, but it's kind of like my feelings towards like Chris Brown and Kanye. Well, not Kanye, but like Chris Brown specifically. It's like how much can I separate the music from the artist? And because obviously Chris Brown is a horrible, horrible person, but he's really got some good bops in there. And it's just how do I, where do I draw the line on that? And it's like, do I take the moral standing and be like, no, I don't like Chris Brown, or do I take the musical standing where I'm like, oh no, he's a pretty good musician, And I think that's specifically Pinkerton. Like, where do I draw the line between, again, my moral standing, where this is a misogynistic piece of trash, and oh my god, this music is absolutely incredible. This is truly Rivers at his best, musically.
And his worst.
And it is worst, exactly. So I have this really big internal dilemma with that, but I think I can say I do. All right, here we go. I'm getting it down on record. I do like this album, with a lot of caveats. Yeah. So, I think if you were to give me like a lyricless version of this album, it would be amazing. Like, if this was just music, fantastic. But
I mean, it would kind of need like some kind of, humming or something going on though to capture the melody that is sung.
Yeah. I mean, if Rivers was just humming the whole time, I'd be fine with that.
Rock pop songs of today, possibly about half and half. But in today's rock and pop or of the past 50 whatever years, that what is sung is not really duplicated in any way. Mm-hmm. I think the melody, say, the melody is contained solely in the lyrics in the vocals.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I think at least at certain points you'd have to have some kind of humming or other instrument to duplicate what that tune of what is being sung.
Yeah, just throw in a piano.
Yeah.
Just throw a piano at it. That'll fix the problem. Then it just turns into a lullaby album, and I'm totally
right. Yeah, that's right.
All right, so that's Pinkerton. We did it. We made it to the end. Our long national nightmare is over. So from here on out, we are going to be posting weekly. We won't be doing twice a week like we have been. With real life stuff for both of us, it's just better to kind of slow things down. Mm-hmm. But we are going to be back in, well, actually, probably next week. Actually, yes, next week with...
hopefully next week,
Hopefully next week, in theory.
Things go smoothly. And then, not likely 2 weeks, but, say maybe 3 weeks away, I would think, for the start of the Green Album.
Yep. So we'll be, we'll keep you updated. Keep an eye on our Twitter, which is...
@FeelsLikeWeezer.
And you can follow us on Facebook
at facebook.com/feelslikeweezer.
Is that it for real?
Well, that's our page, and then our group.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, we do have a group. I keep forgetting about our group, which is
Feels Like Weezer Listener Society. Did we add that on when we created that? Did we do that fully?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Look, you made that thing. I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
And you can send us an email at feelslikeweezer@gmail.com. Yeah. I'm just going to finish that one. Again, no emails, very lonely. You can also follow us and other amazing rock podcasts on pantheonpodcast.com. You can find both us and Almost Famous Minute there. So I guess that's it. Pinkerton's over. I can finally die a happy man. That's not true. I want to talk about everything will be right in the end. Just cut that part out, Zach. That was a dumb joke. I have been Zach Fracking Smith. You can follow me on Twitter at The Informal Log.
And I was Eric Nash. I also have my Almost Famous Minute podcast. And you can find me on Twitter at Lucky Mustard.
Yeah. Did we ever mention what song we're going to be doing next?
Well, no, I was afraid that's what you're going towards, but we certainly can, yeah.
Okay. Well, the next song we're doing is. 'Cause it feels like Weezer. But yeah, one of the big things he smokes. That's how you know he's hip and rad with the youths.